Shall we begin?
All right, we are live once again for another Create Your New Life real estate session powered by these guys behind me, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, in conjunction with our Brooks and Davis Real Estate Continuing Education Institute, which now offers an hour of CE credit for those that come on live with our Create Your New Life. So welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, I want to thank you, whether you're looking at it live and taking advantage of it, or whether you're looking at it later, maybe on our YouTube page, or maybe you get a link or something like that. You're checking us out. We want to say thank you for getting a look, getting a sneak peek into kind of what Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm does and how we handle business and things like that, as well as we'll talk about our business model, the success in the Realtor Success Funnel, which moves you towards creating that new life that we're looking to help people with. So thank you so much. If you're ever wanting to sit down and talk to us, you're thinking about getting into real estate, maybe you signed up for a class, you want to take advantage of our affiliate program, or you are an agent and you're considering wanting to change brokerage firms, looking for a new fit, then please call this number behind us. Let's have a sit down. Let's talk about it and see what we can do to work together to help in your development. All right. At any point, Jess, Ryan, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to jump in here and we'll get those questions answered. Real quick, let's recap as far as the guidelines or the requirements to be able to receive the CE credit. So again, the student must be logged in at the time the session begins. We typically begin between 12 and 12:15. The student must show the instructor their identification. So guys, go ahead and pull your IDs out so you can flash them on the screen for me. And then the instructor has to be able to see the student's face the entire time. And you guys have to stay on for the entire hour. So go ahead and flash it. No, your driver's license, Ronnie. All right, Jess, I got you. All right, boom. Let me go. Make sure you are who you are. All right, you are. All right, the student must stay online the entire time. So with that being done, then after the session is over, we'll submit for your CE credit to the Texas Real Estate Association through our continuing education institute, which is our providership. All right, so today it's about practice and presentation. It's all about practice and presentation. So we've been in our skill set number 4 in our success in real estate machine, where it's all about ensuring that you leave the consultation with the client, right? You go into the consultation with a customer, you're meeting with a customer, and you want to make sure you leave with a client, right? So we're going to kind of finish that skill set up now so we can advance to the next skill set, which is skill set number 5. So that's why today's session is all about practice and presentation, right? We've already prepared. We've gotten our forms together. Now it's about practicing, making sure that you're on your game, and then we'll hit some highlights as far as what that presentation needs to look like. Again, to really put you in the best situation to get them to hire you when you are face-to-face. All right, let's go ahead and jump in to see what kind of performance that the company had this last week. So let's go ahead and jump in there and check that out. All right, so we're still above that $4 million mark, which I call that my comfort mark. As of this week, we're holding on with about a skin of our teeth, but we are above that 4 million. So again, really want to encourage you guys to keep pushing to work, ultimately follow the things that we're coaching, right? Work through that real success funnel. Be consistent in the activities that you're doing. And then that's going to help ensure that you're consistently adding people, consistently adding buyer contracts, consistently adding seller contracts to the pending board. If you follow what we coach and our business concept, business model, the success and real estate machine, it's going to ensure that continues to happen. So right now we're at about 4.1 million on the production board. We had some new production, so we definitely want to congratulate Margaret. She added some new production to the board this past week. Also, we want to congratulate Ronnie for making that affiliate to agent transition, right? You know, when we started our affiliate program, man, I don't even think it's been a year. I don't believe it's been a year yet. But in that time frame, we've had 3 affiliates take advantage of the affiliate program, 3 affiliates through the support, through the resources, and now they've become licensed real estate professionals. So Tracina Morris was our first affiliate to agent transition. Then we had Leslie Wright, and now we have Ronnie. So congratulations. You know, you guys are really showing that the affiliate program is effective, right? That it does work. So we really are proud of that. We really want to continue to push and encourage people to take advantage of it, because we don't see any other real estate company, even any other real estate association, offering that level of support for individuals that are not licensed, that are in the process of getting licensed. It seems like everybody just leaves it up to the real estate schools. So we wanted to be proactive as a brokerage to really get in at that stage to begin the development process for people that were coming into our industry. You know, at the workshop that we attended yesterday, that the team, members of the team went to yesterday with Wells Fargo, one of the things that really stood out to me is what the presenter said, was that 80% of the people that get into the market of the industry, 80% of the people that enter into the real estate industry wash out. And this is his words verbatim. 80% wash out. What does that mean? 80% of the people that get their real estate license don't make it. 80%. Like that is crazy to me. So I don't like that, right? I mean, we hear a lot of people complaining about the integrity of the business and don't want people part-time, and agents don't know what they're doing and all of that, right? But nobody's being that proactive about doing something about it. So we wanted to do that. And the affiliate program is just one of the ways that we work towards doing that. So congratulations, Ronnie. Let's get out here. Let's start doing some business, and you know, let's get it done. All right. The top 5 agents for as far as this week, we had a little bit of movement. You know, again, we congratulated Margaret on the production that she added to the board, which now has catapulted her up to the 3rd spot. I always say it, you know, a lot of times you're just one transaction from being included on this list. Last week, Margaret wasn't on the list. Now she is on the list because of one transaction. And the person that was on the list last week is no longer on the list. Why? Because Margaret got that transaction and it bumped them off. So my favorite agent of all is still holding that #1 spot, Ms. LaQuana Davis, followed by Ms. Green, who's been holding on to that #2 spot for a while. Y'all need to knock her off, man. She's been holding on to that #2 spot too long. And then we got Margaret, congratulations, Kalima, and then Charles Adams, the only one, he's the one representing it for the fellas. You know, he's been representing for the fellas for a while. So I need my guys, come on, get in here so we can get some representation. We haven't had the representation that we need. So come on, fellas. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our 60-day cycle, right? So what we're really pushing now is building your real estate machine, right? These last sessions, that's all we're talking about. We're talking about laying the foundation, building a machine to where it ultimately can do what it needs to do to take care of you, right? All of this is about having a machine in place, doing the things needed to where it will give you the results that you're looking for of why you got into this business, where you can have that level of success. That's what this is about. So these next 60 days, what we're going to be trying to imprint into your brain, especially as we come to the end of finalizing on this project I'm extremely proud of, and excited about, which is our Success in Real Estate machine, which we're going to be launching here real soon. We really want to imprint in your brain that that's how you need to approach building your business. Approach it from a standpoint of it being a machine and it operating without you at some point, right? So where should we be? As of this week, we should be at $1.3 million as far as new production that we've added. We are currently at 1.5, so we're still ahead of the curve, right? As long as we do what's needed to maintain our position. You know, for us to ensure that we hit our goal of 5.3 million over these next 60 days, we got to do $662,000 of new production every week. I know we can do it. We have enough people a part of this organization that can bring in that amount of production every week. It's just a matter of us doing it. We were so close last cycle. I mean, we missed it by like $40,000, I think, hitting our goal. So I know we can do it. So let's do it. Let's continue to focus. And as we're doing it, let's be taking heed to the things that we're talking about here as far as the real estate success funnel, and begin building your business systematically to where at some point you'll look up and it'll be a machine that's running all on its own, right? That's ultimately where we want to get the individuals that are part of our organization. This is where we want to get you guys. We want to get you to that spot in that position. All right, so new listing showcase. So we have a new listing, a corporate listing that we want to showcase. I'm going to start off by showing a video that we're adding to our marketing that we feel like is really the differentiator as far as for this property, and a solid marketing piece. So we'll go with that. So let's play the video. Here we go. You can't hear it because I need to turn it up.
See yourself walking to this lake and just standing by it. Can't you just see yourself walking to this lake and just standing by it and just listening to that water fountain just make that beautiful noise? Well, the good thing is that this lake is close to a house that we have on Evening Wind. You see behind me, they also have this big water park. I think it's Diamond Evening Bay. They got a park. They even have a volleyball. They have a volleyball court, sand court. It's like in walking distance to the house that we're selling on Evening Wind. So I just compelled to do this quick video. You can just hear how peaceful that water sounds. Beautiful.
So let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, I felt like what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is probably worth 1,000,000. The biggest thing about this property on Evening Wind, we're only asking $360,000 for the property. It's in Shadow Creek Ranch. But the biggest selling point for it is it's close to, oh, that's on me. The biggest selling point about the property is that it's in walking distance. Like you can walk to all those amenities that we showed in that video. And that's why we want to do that video like that, is because it showed the amenities about the property. The one thing about Shadow Creek Ranch is that it's a development that's been there for some time, been there a very long time. And north of maybe 10 or 15 years. I remember when it first started. Matter of fact, I want to say I sold one of the first houses in Shadow Creek Ranch to a client that when I first got in this business. So that was about 12 years ago. If you want to be close to 2234, there are no new construction opportunities that are close to 2234. Right now, all the new construction is being built towards the back right or the back western section of Shadow Creek Ranch. So if you want to be closer, you got to get a older home, a resale home. Well, the thing about it is that the amenities and things were built in the beginning, which makes sense, right? So they're in the front of the development. So for you to be in walking distance like this particular house is to walking trails and the recreation center and the water park and the pool and things like that, you have no choice but to get in a resale property, right? So that's the angle that we're going as far as in selling this property, because of the vicinity and location that it is to those amenities, right? So we'll take a quick look at the MLS write up about it. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. All right, so here's the MLS write up about it again. We're talking about, the location of it, Shadow Creek Ranch vicinity and things like that. It's a huge home, 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath. It is 3,700 square feet, so it's a humongous property. The pictures, it's it's a lot of space, but just look, laminate floors, granite countertops, like it's a spectacular home, right? Spectacular home. So I know if you have a client out there that wants to, that has kids and they want to be close to that type of those type of facilities, to where they ain't got to get in the car, you ain't got to load them up, you can just kind of walk down the sidewalk and get to them, then this is the ideal place for you, right? It's right close to 288, so you can hop up, get on 2234, get to 288 and get wherever you need to, right? Get to downtown, get to the medical center, get to the loop, which will take you all throughout the city, get to the Beltway, which will take you throughout the city. So is as far as maneuvering it, it's great. And then you're right in Pearland. So if you don't want to go all the way into the city, but you need to get some stuff done, you get 288, go to 518, and you have everything that you need. So it's a phenomenal property. If you have buyers out there, let's go ahead and get them. Let's take them. Let's show them this unit, right? They got kids and they're looking for a quality location. This is prime real estate for them. So let's work together. Let's get it sold. Let's do this. All right. So that's 13603 evening win. 13603 evening win. Only 360,000. And then there goes your MLS number right there. Let's move it. Let's get it sold. Let's get it sold. All right. So now, if you did not come to the event yesterday, the workshop yesterday, you missed so much knowledge and wisdom, right? Jess is nodding her head because she know, her and Ronnie were both there, and they know the gold that Terry Watson was given on how not just theoretical and conceptual, he was given actual action items and things that you could do today to apply to your business to help you be more effective and more successful in this, right? One of the big things has to do with and I didn't go over my quote, but I can use this as an opportunity now. The quote that I had today, it says, demonstrate more customer value. Well, that's what yesterday's presentation was all about. It was about not focusing on customer service, right? One of the things that he did was he asked if you feel like you have good customer service, raise your hand, right? Or you focus on good customer service, and everybody in the room raised their hand. And one of the things he said was that that's the problem. The problem is that we're focusing on service and we're not focusing on customer value. So the entire quote is demonstrate more customer value and focus more on the customer experience, right? Demonstrate more customer value, not service, and focus more on the customer experience as you build and create your business. It's about thinking about it from the standpoint of the customer and what their experience is like when using you, right? So that was Terry Watson. That was the speaker at yesterday's event. Okay, but the good thing is we did a video, and I'm gonna do some more nuggets of what was talked about there. But Jess, who puts together our video, she's our production manager, I guess. She does all our media production. She put together a video for us for this one as well, so we'll check that one out too.
And I thought it was pretty fantastic. So it's pretty close to the top of the presentation. Talked about people and all like these surprises and some funny examples.
So shout out to Jess on the video. She really captured it beautifully on the experience, right? It was you know, we were sitting at the table with Task Realty Group, which is, you know, a good friend of mine in the business, and, you know, shout outs to her as well and her team as they were there. But some of the things that Terry spoke about, and again, I can't give you everything. Like, it was a 4-hour, I mean, from 11 to 3, you know, Terry talked for like 3 hours, had a great meal. Well, I can't give you all of that, right? For you to get the bang out of it, you should have been there, right? We needed you to be there, right? It didn't cost anything. It was free, right? And rarely in this business do you get this level of training at no cost, right? You know, this kind of training is the kind of training you get when you go to conferences, right? The HAR Engage, which is like $150, or the Texas Association of Realtors Conference, which is like $70 just for registration. Depending on where it is, you got to pay for flight, you got to pay for hotel, right? Right? The National Association of Realtors Conference, depending on where it is, you know, that right there is $400, right? So this is the kind of training, the kind of level of training that was received yesterday at no cost. It just requires you to be there, right? So, you know, some of the great things that Terry talked about was, again, value versus service, right? One of the examples that he used was your business card, right? He told us to pull out our business card and a credit card, and talking about the customer experience, how credit cards have rounded corners, right? So with your business cards, you should get rounded corners and not the pointed corners. Now, it costs more money to get rounded corners, but from a customer experience of handing your card out, them being able to put it in their wallet. He also talked about the size of the business card, making it the size of a credit card. And, you know, credit cards are slightly shorter than business cards because we've all had the problem of trying to put it in a wallet and boom, it won't fit, right? So, you know, he gave us that tidbit of how to redesign, just from redesigning your business cards, right? He talked about the feel of it, right? That there's this texture you can put on your business card that feels like suede, right? So that's the customer experience, them touching your card and it feeling good to them, right? He also talked about them being able to take notes on the back, right? We tend to put that gloss on the business cards. We even hear people train and tell us, don't, you know, to put the gloss on there so people can't write on your business card. That's a bad customer experience, right? Because people want to take notes. And the thought is look, if people are using your business card to take notes, guess what? They got to keep it. They got to keep the business card, right? So, you know, just thinking through some of these things and decisions that we make as it contributes to customer experience, right? He talked about new rules of real estate. He talked about a bunch of stuff, right? And but I just wanted to kind of give you a taste through just the business card, just that one thing, which was one of the first things he gave us when we first started, right? Just that idea about the business card. You know, his new rules of real estate had to do with make it easy, make the process easy for them. Don't make people think, right? Sometimes we're doing too much. We have too many steps, which is forcing people to think, which takes away from a person's experience. Make it as simple. Make it as simple as possible, because that's what's going to get people to refer you, because that's what it's about. getting people to tell other people about what you do. And that comes from the experience that people have when they're working with you, right? It says in real estate, people hate surprises, which they do, shocking people. Again, I've said this before. It's not about you having access to the resources, the tools, and the information. It's about how you operate your business. So all of this customer experience talk was about how you operate your business, right? And then the last thing was saying that you need to have 3 sheets, right? 3 sheets that can contribute to your customer experience immediately. 1, frequently asked questions, right? There are some commonalities when it comes to whether a buyer, right? What is the earnest money? When do I have to pay that? When do I have to pay for the appraisal? What is closing? What is it like? There's so many things, definitions, concepts, and all this stuff that we know that every client is asking you. Well, if you had a frequently asked questions sheet that you can hand to your clients, say at the initial buyer consultation or the initial property consultation that we're going to talk about today, you can hand them a frequently asked question sheet, then that right there eliminates the issue of surprises, and that contributes to a better customer experience. The other thing is things not to do sheet, right? Like don't go get credit. Don't go get a bunch of furniture on credit, right? Or don't stop, if you're a seller, don't stop paying your mortgage just because you got it under contract for sale, right? A things not to do sheet. And then the last one was an offer acceptance ratio, right? Especially with your buyers, especially nowadays with all these multiple offer scenarios, right? He said nationally, it's taken, and national across the United States, it's taken at least 3 offer submissions to get 1 acceptance, right? So it just ain't you, right? The problem is that if you don't tell your client that, then they're going to blame you for their offers not getting accepted. They're going to blame you for, them having to submit all these offers before they can get one. So that's why you're being able to tell them at the initial buyer consultation, your offer acceptance ratio prepares them for what's about to happen, right? One of the examples he used was if you're flying on a plane, if there's some turbulence, the captain's going to tell you beforehand that there's some turbulence coming up. He don't tell you when you in the turbulence. Now imagine if he did. If he ain't say nothing about it, next thing you know, you moving all over the place. You ain't got your seatbelt on, you falling over this, boom. You ain't get a heads up on the fact that turbulence was coming and the captain knew it. You would feel some kind of way about that. Well, that's what's happening when you're not telling your clients what's coming up and they get into it, and then you want to have a conversation with them about it. That takes away from your customer experience. So that's just a few of the things that he talked about. Unfortunately, I can't give you the whole thing. All I'm saying is this: when we're having these events, you need to take advantage of them, right? If they're not costing you anything, you need to make arrangements. You're not going to get these kind of opportunities a lot, right? And a lot of real estate brokerage firms aren't offering these kinds of opportunities and this information to you. So it's in your best interest. It's not helping me, it's helping you, right? It's just a matter of me doing what we said that we were going to do when we sat down face to face and we talked about your future and you growing. It's just a matter of us doing the things that we said that we were going to do and aiding to your development. It's a matter of us doing it. So that's that. All right. The other thing, we have a happy hour coming up. So we have a happy hour coming up on August 2nd. We kind of breeze through this stuff so we can get to our talk. August 2nd, 4 to 7, at Escalante's. This is like our 3rd time doing one at Escalante's. Here's an opportunity. If you have a friend that's in real estate that may be working at another firm, you guys have talked about them making a switch, this would be a good opportunity for you to personally invite them to come to this happy hour. I'll be there. They'll get to meet with me. They'll get to talk to other agents and get their testimony, and put you in a position that if they sign up for Brooks & Davis, you can capitalize on the Realtor Recruitment Rally, that override, that 5% of production when they begin producing. So here's an event that can aid you in telling them about the company, and you not necessarily doing it. you being able to utilize and tap into the company as a whole. So that and if that's not the case, well, look, just come get some free drinks, right? And come get some free food and fellowship. See who all is a part. Like, we're an organization that's 70 plus. So come see who else is a part of the organization that you're a part of. So again, like it says at the top, let the good times roll. So it's going to be next Thursday, 4 to 7. You can either use it as an opportunity to invite other agents so they can get some exposure to what Brooks and Davis is doing, or just come use it as an opportunity to get some reward for all the hard work that you're doing out here in this real estate business, because we know it gets tough sometimes. So it's going to be next Thursday. Come out, come see who's here with you. All right, real quick snapshot of this is what we do. This is what makes us who we are. These are all the proprietary programming that Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm offers. Again, if you're taking advantage of the CE credit, like that's something that's unique to Brooks and Davis. If you've taken advantage of the affiliate program, that's something that's unique. The Realtor Recruitment Rally, what I just talked about. If you attend, you bring somebody to the happy hour, they sign up, right? Because they like what they see, they like what they hear. And me talking to them and other agents talking to them, they like it. They sign up. You invited them. You get that 5% override, which is what the Realtor Recruitment Rally talks about here. Again, proprietary programming specific to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, right? This is what makes us different. This is what's a differentiator for us at Brooks and Davis. All right. All right. So I feel like I've been jumping all over the place. Somehow my slides got out of whack. But one of the things that we learned yesterday, E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. I could have flipped out because my slides was all over the place, but I didn't. We made it work, right? And one thing she said is if it's not a big deal to you, it won't be a big deal to anybody else. So, man, I'm just spitting all these nuggets out that we got from yesterday, man. You should have been in the building if you were not. Okay. Moment in core. We're going to talk about exceeding the expectations of our clients, customers, and colleagues, right? It's about our core ideology. The reason I pulled that one is because of what we learned just yesterday about customer experience, right? I want to expand that to the experience of everybody. Anybody dealing with you want to offer a greater experience for them. And that's what our ideology is all about, right? When you, as you exceed the expectations of these pieces, right? These clients, these customers, and these colleagues, exceeding the expectations, that's what it's about. Offering them a greater experience in doing business with you, right? Again, it's all about getting people to talk about you, creating raving fans of doing business with you, right? If you're a spectacular agent working with another agent on a deal, right? Well, you'll have more influence if it is about encouraging them to join Brooks and Davis, to where you can take advantage of that Realtor Recruitment Rally. If you're working with a buyer and it's such a beautiful experience, you've offered so much value above anybody else, trust me, they're going to tell lots of people about you. And that's how you're going to grow your business. So you want to exceed those expectations. And it's all about customer experience, is what we learned yesterday. So that's why in our moment of core, I wanted to take the time to show you that we already have that built on the inside of who we are as Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. All right. Okay. So now let's go ahead and jump into our training for today, which is about dealing with skill set number 4, right? So we always got to start it off looking at our business model, because everything is around this concept right here. The Realtor Success Funnel. Everything is built around this. When talking about building the machine, when talking about offering customer experience, when talking about putting you in a position to where you can create the new life that you wanted by getting into this business, it's all built around this, right? So now we've talked about the first 3 skill sets, and we spent, I guess, maybe the last 4 sessions dealing with skill set number 4. Skill set number 4 is ensuring you lead a consultation with a client, right? So now we've looked at it from a daily aspect of what do you do every day, right? As a real estate professional, a day in the life of the real estate professional, because this is really the series that we're in, trying to take it from a conceptual standpoint and me talk you through what that looks like on a daily practical basis, right? So that's what we've been doing in this series. The first aspects of, well, I said all that to say that, I want you to, if you haven't seen the previous videos, you need to go back and you need to look at those videos, right? All of them are in your 7-Dot training folder. All of them are on our Brooks and Davis YouTube page. All of them. I used to make the videos private, but now we just opened them up. So now you can go to the Brooks and Davis YouTube page and see all of the videos as it speaks to the things that I've been training on. You have access to it, and we made it easier for you to go check those things out. All right. So also in skill set number 4, the areas that we've already covered have to do with, let's make that bigger for you. All right, so these are some previous Create Your New Life sessions that deal with these area 4, right? That you can go back. And again, I do an agenda for every time I have one of these sessions. So these are the meeting notes. You go back to them, you click on the link, it'll take you to those videos. We've already talked about remembering your time block, right? That's the blue square in the Realtor Success Funnel. You cannot do what I'm training you on if you don't have the blue square, right? And the blue square is the foundation. Your time block, your CRM, you can't build it if you haven't laid the foundation. So that's what that's all about. So we talked about the time block. We talked about the forms. We've talked, well, we haven't talked about practice. So that's where we're going to jump in right now. And it comes to practice as far as the presentations themselves, right? So in the discussion about the forms, it was all about preparing for the presentations. So we went through that. Well, now that you know what forms to use, you know how to prepare the items that you need to do prior to you going on the meeting. Now we're going to talk about making sure that you're comfortable at the meeting. And the way that you make sure that you're comfortable is, again, one of the things that we learned yesterday. It's about confidence. Real estate is all about confidence, right? Well, the way that you build confidence in going on to a presentation is through practice, making sure that you know that you're prepared to be effective at the presentation. Well, that comes from practice. So in the agenda notes as well, I went ahead and put the link that'll take you straight to the materials that you need to be practicing prior to going on initial buyer consultations and initial property consultations. These are the things that you need to be practicing, right? When we're talking about role playing, when you talk about scripts and you hear all those things, well, this is the area where that needs to be, right? Is right here in skill set number 4. That's where you need to practice, role play, do those types of things so you can have that confidence when you're going on these appointments. All right. So in the let's start off with my computer tripping. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start off with buyers. So when you click on that link, it'll take you to process for working with buyers. Make it bigger for you. All right, so it'll take you to process for working with buyers inside of the initial, come on, man, move. Initial buyer consultation appointment. All right, so these are the things that you need to be practicing, right? Inside of that folder, we already talked about the documents, so you definitely got to make sure that you're comfortable with the documents, right? But we have the presentation here, right? Here's the presentation, right? And you need to be practicing going through the presentation. Even if you just sit there and you just kind of talking to yourself or talking to the mirror, this is the presentation that you want to be given when you're face to face with a buyer, right? Again, customer experience, right? You want to use this resource, this opportunity to get one-on-one to deal with the frequently asked questions. You can pass that out there. The what you should not do. Ultimately, it's what it says it is. It's a consultation. You're about to help someone with the biggest financial decision of their life, right? For you to just jump in that thing willy-nilly with them, that's bad. That's bad business. So that's why the buyer consultation is important, and done the right way, it adds to the customer experience. So any new client that you bring on board needs to be done through this consultation, and you need to practice. You need to practice. Okay. Also, in your 7-dot training, you have a video of me doing it. So you have a video of me doing initial buyer consultation. I believe this might be on the YouTube page. Yeah, it is on the YouTube page too. But here's a link to it. You need to look at the video, right? That can help you as you're practicing, right?
All right.
Right. So
Okay.
you see me actually doing a home buyer consultation,
Some of the things that you'll see here in
right?
presentation.
As we're preparing. So on my laptop, I'm showing the presentation. On my laptop, I'm showing the presentation. This presentation here is what I'm showing them on my laptop. So inside of your 7-dot training folder, you have access to this video. So you got the presentation, you got the video, and you have the forms, right? These are the things that you need to be practicing to make sure that you have the confidence when you're going on the appointment. Why? To ensure that you leave the appointment with a client, because you're going to ask them to sign your paperwork, right? And guess what? You just asking them to sign it ain't going to get them to sign it. You have to give them a reason, right? You have to be successful in showing the value that comes from you working with them working with you. That's how you do it. Well, that's not just, hey, use me. Like, you have to go through the presentation and you have to practice that. So we have those forms and things that you need to be practicing. So now looking at it in a standpoint of the day in the life of a real estate professional, where would you put the practice side of things in your day? Well, time block it. That's why the time block is there. That's why it's important. That's why self-improvement is important, right? So time block it. You don't have to do this during your work day. Do it after hours, right? Do it right before you go to bed, right? Do it in the evening time. Block it out 20 minutes, right? Maybe 30 minutes, 3 times a week, right? Just put it on your time block. And then that's when you role play. That's when you work on scripts. That's when you go through the presentation. That's when you make sure that you're strong. So when you walk in the room with a new prospective client, you have the confidence needed to be able to perform at a high level. So you time block, you add it to your time block. That's why it's important that you have one already set up. Okay, so that was for the buyer. Those are the things that you need to practice. All right, so now let's look at it from a standpoint of the seller, right? As practicing and preparing to go on these initial buyer consultations, what are the things that you need to be doing? Again, we've already talked about the forms. We've already showed what you need to do to prepare for the meeting. We already talked about the pre-listing questions, right? To get additional information from the people that you're going to be meeting with. We've already gone through that. So now what do we practice? Well, when you click on that link, all right, when you click on this link here, come on. All right, so when we click on this link where it says click here for practice materials, it'll take you to this area in your 7-dot training folder. Inside of that area, we have, and the name of it is I'm sorry, it'll take you to this one, the way to perform the perfect listing presentation. That's the folder it's going to take you to, right? So if you want to form a perfect listing presentation, that's where you need to be spending your time. Inside of that folder, we have, just like we have a video of me doing the initial buyer consultation for the buyer in their buyer folder, there's an audio of a listing appointment conversation that you can listen to, right? And again, see?
If you are on time, then remind them by saying, "Hi, I'm blank with."
All right, so this audio goes in line with an actual written script. So now with the listing appointment, it's like a performance. Like there's a script, like a true script, as if you was putting on a Broadway play. It's a performance. Well, that audio file and this written file is the script on how the listing appointment or initial property consultation needs to flow. Well, guess what? You need to practice it. It's not something that's just you're gonna be able to wing if you're gonna be effective, especially working with sellers. See, listen, the difference between buyers don't pay you nothing, right? So it's not as challenging to get somebody that's not gonna pay you nothing to give you a shot, right? Now it still ain't easy as pie, but it's not as challenging when you're going up to somebody and you're asking them to pay you 6%. Listen, 6% is not a small piece of money, right? That's $6,000 on a $100,000 house. That's $12,000 on a $200,000 house. That's 18 grand on a $300,000 house. Like that's not no small piece of change, right? So when you go and you're having that conversation with somebody that's going to end with you asking them to ultimately hire you and they'll be paying you that amount of money, you have to be ready. So you're going to have more confidence going to talk to sellers than you are talking to buyers, right? There are more agents working and willing to work and intentionally working with buyers than there are working with sellers, right? It's because one, you ain't got to ask, they ain't paying you nothing. The other one, they are, right? So it's very, very important, very key that you practice, especially on the seller side. So inside of your 7-dot training, you have the written script that walks you all the way through it. And you have the audio file that you can listen to. In addition, you have the presentation. So these are the things that you need to be practicing, right? The presentation, the audio file, and the script, right? So this is the presentation. Now check this out. In a couple of things. In doing the presentation, the goal is to have it done within an hour, right? No more than an hour. And if you do it the right way, if you do it the way that we coach, if you do it the way that we've laid out, it should be no more than an hour, right? Again, we're always talking about scale. We're talking about customer experience. Nobody want to be sitting in front of you for 2-3 hours, right? People got other things to do, right? So let's get in there, get to the point so they can go on their way, right? So that again contributes to customer experience. It shouldn't take that long, right? Well, if you're confident, if you've practiced, if you've prepared, it's not going to take that long. Okay. So that's why it's another reason that it's important that, again, on your time block, you have that time to practice for self-improvement to get better. You have it blocked on your schedule. So you're intentional about it, right? So that you'll be doing it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in your practice time, as far as preparing for the appointments, I highly encourage you to look at these videos, right? These videos right here, A, B, and C, I went piece by piece of what the initial buyer consultation is and needs to be. Like I spent 3 sessions, create your new life sessions, going in detail about the initial buyer consultation, right? That right there should also be a portion of your practice, right? Being consistent in doing these things and to make sure that you're prepared, that should be a portion of it. The same thing with the sellers. I spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions going in detail on what the initial property consultation appointment needs to look like, how it needs to be delivered, right? I used the script. I went through the script, walked down the script, talked about the audio file, went through the presentation, went through how it needs to be presented. I went through all of that. That's why I'm not going to do it again, because I've already done it. You just need to take the time to go look through these videos as you prepare for these 2 appointments. All right. Remember, the presentation is all about making sure that they hire you, right? For best use of your time, you got to be walking out of there with signed paperwork, right? You got to be walking out of there with a new client. That's why it's a skill set, right? There's a different skill set from getting them to agree to the appointment than there is from getting them to sign your paperwork. Them are 2 separate skill sets. So that's why we split it up the way that it is. So the whole point of the presentation and the whole point of skill set number 4 is to make sure you're bringing in clients and that you're only working with clients and that you've created a pipeline of new clients on a consistent basis, and you know how to get them into your business, into your system. So that's what that is all about. All right. All right. So we're closing out. That's us closing out skill set number 4. Right. So we're going to begin skill set number 5 when we get back on. Now, well, next week. Yeah. So next week we'll be doing one. Next week when we get back on, we're going to pick up skill set number 5, which is getting the client under contract as soon as possible. That's a whole nother skill set, right? You could be great at lead generation. You could be great at follow-up. You could be great at getting them to have an appointment with you. You could be great at them hiring you. You could be horrible at this next skill set and not make any money. You can be great at all 4 of them skill sets, not be good at this one, and you won't make money, right? I tell you, to be successful in this, you got to be good at all 6 of them. And you got to be doing them at the same time consistently over and over and over again for you to build a successful real estate business. So next week, we're going to begin talking about skill set number 5, getting the client under contract, and the things that you need to be doing and looking at it from a practical standpoint of what that looks like, what that area looks like to get them under contract as soon as possible, right? All right. So before we go, I want to talk a little bit about conflict resolution. So another takeaway from the workshop yesterday was a book. He recommended a book that I'm reading, right? It is right here. I'm sorry. I'm not reading it. I am listening to it. Hold on. This book right here is called Never Split the Difference, right? This book was written by a former FBI negotiator, and not just a regular negotiator, like a hostage terrorist international negotiator, right? Wrote this book. It's on YouTube, right? You can actually listen to it inside of the inside the agenda notes for today. I added the link to the book, right? I implore you, I beseech ye, brethren, listen to this book. find time how to listen to this book, because this book right here is going to transform your real estate business. It's talking about negotiating and understanding. See, understand real estate, that's all it is. Real estate is one big negotiation from a standpoint of the buyer, them hiring you, from the standpoint of them just staying on the phone long enough with you so you can talk to them, to the seller, to other agents, to actually dealing with a contract, to everything, right? So you being in a power position when it comes to understanding how to be an effective negotiator is huge, right? I can't say it enough. So one of the biggest things when it comes to conflict resolution has to do with how to work through the conflict. See, person-to-person interaction, regardless of whether they're your enemy or your best friend, say the love of your life, it's inevitable that you're going to have some type of conflictual situation. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, right? Well, if you don't know how to walk through that conflict, then that's where things go wrong, right? Again, it goes with that E plus R equals O. It's not about the event. There are going to be events within relationships. There are going to be events that cause conflict between two individuals, that cause conflict in that relationship, where R is the response. How you respond to that conflict dictates whether there's a positive resolution or a negative resolution from the event that caused the conflict. Well, this book is going to help you make sure that the result always is in a positive direction when it comes to you, right? So I wanted to recommend this book as we discuss conflict resolution. I wanted to recommend that you listen to this book, that you study this book, and you become better in the things that Mr. Voss is speaking about when it comes to negotiating. And as you apply it to not even just your real estate business, just as you apply it to your life, then it's really going to contribute to you being more successful in the things that you do, right? In the things that you do. I've only listened to, and this is mine, this is the one I'm listening to now. I've only listened to an hour of it, right? And just from that hour of listening to it, because I've taken negotiation classes, I've read negotiation books, I've been doing things practically from a negotiation standpoint, because of all those personal experiences, me listening to just an hour of the book, I can tell that this thing is phenomenal. I can, just from me listening to an hour of the book, I can tell that it's life-changing. I ain't got to listen to the whole book yet. Just an hour, I can tell that the stuff that he's talking about is going to be so life-changing for your business that you need to go ahead and start listening to it now, especially when it comes to conflict resolution and getting results, because that's what it's about, getting the results that you want. I love it says never split the difference. I love the way that he titled it that way, because especially in real estate, I almost did it this week, splitting the difference of a term that we couldn't get past in a contract negotiation, to be like, look, let's just meet halfway. Let's just meet halfway. The reason that he called it never split the difference, because when you're negotiating a hostage situation, you can't meet halfway, right? You got to win. That negotiator has to win, because if that negotiator don't win, somebody gonna die, right? We ain't had them type of high level negotiations, right? So yeah, I want to hear from that kind of person, to where every negotiation he had to win, period, right? So never split the difference, right? Never split the difference. Chris Voss, you can listen to it on YouTube. After I listen to it on YouTube, I'm probably gonna listen to it again, and I'm probably gonna buy. Well, I know I'm gonna buy the book. So I can be able to take notes and things like that and truly study this, because I can tell it'll take you leaps and bounds above the competition and contribute to you offering a greater experience for your customers. All right. That being the case, Jess, Ronnie, you guys have any questions, any coaching, anything that's needed, you can use the group chat or you can unmute yourself, and we'll do that. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is the first time that I attend something like this. So next time I think I'll be more prepared because I'll have the skill set ready on my computer.
Okay.
And then I'm starting at skill set 4. So
yes.
I'm going to go ahead and review the previous skill sets just to make sure that I'm on track.
All right, but now it's a lot of videos, Ronnie.
I know, and I should have a lot of questions
okay.
because it's all like new to me. So what I'm gonna do is review it and get to know it well first, and then I'll make sure I ask some pretty good questions. Yeah,
and then when you and I meet, then we're gonna go through it in detail as well as far as the success funnel, because it really when beginning real estate business, it's imperative or important that you understand that model. So you'll have time to kind of work through. That's all I teach is a real estate success funnel as far as building your business. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Perfect. Well, that'll be next Thursday.
That'll be next Thursday.
Good. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let me go ahead and get my music going so we can bob out of this bad boy.
Shall we begin?
No, we are ending today for our real estate success funnel. I'm sorry, I said real estate success funnel. What is going on? Hold on. It's not showing me. Show me. There we go. All right. Show me. It was showing Ronnie. Anyway, this is that's our Create Your New Life real estate session for today. Thank you for coming on board. We're finalizing that skill set number 4. It's about practice. It's about the presentation. Put you in the best situation to turn that customer into a client. So now next week we can get that client under contract with skill set number 5. Enjoy your weekend. Take advantage of the Brooks and Davis events as we send them out. We'll see you at the happy hour. We'll see you on the Create Your New Life session next week. You guys have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.